still in the Champions League. Nothing's going to change that for next season until maybe the end of the year. But yeah, fourth place, 150 million given to Conte or into the club. Where that money goes is another matter. But at this moment in time, 150 million is being invested by ENIC into the club. And yeah, happy days. Also saw today a report that Harry Kane's going to sign a new contract. That's from a newspaper, so probably not true. But joined by Tommy from the Hotspur Hood. How you doing, buddy?
All good, man. All good. All good in the hood. All good in the hood.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for the comments. Got one from Mark Swift. Hit that like and sub and share. Thank you. Absolutely. If you're watching, please hit the like. Please hit the subscribe. And then go to the Hotspur Hood. Tommy will let you know where that is at the end of the show, but it's in the description anyway. It all helps. It all really, really helps. So hit that like, hit that subscribe, and then you've got the notification bell. Hit that. That will give you a notification when we're about to go live. And we're joined by Brian. How you doing, Brian?
I am very, very good, sir. How are you? And how is Tommy?
I'm good, man. I wasn't expecting to see you, to be fair. I wasn't expecting you'd be out fishing with Brad. I thought you'd be out fishing with Brad or something.
Fishing? No, but you say fishing, it leads me on to saying very, very happy birthday to my footballing god, my footballing idol, Mr. Paul Gascoigne.
Yes.
That was a good tie-in there, Tommy. It's like we rehearsed that. Wishing Gaza the greatest of birthdays. Everyone knows my love for him. And so we're not fishing. Brad's still asleep. And I have my Simba alarm to do its Simba things. So here I am at 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming on, Brian. I know it's early, but...
my pleasure, brother. My pleasure.
Yeah. Let's get cracking. So I'm sure we've all got views on this. ENIC announced they've invested 150 million into both the on the pitch and off the pitch. What that means in terms of a split, we don't know. Whether that's a new cinema, where maybe that's for all players for Conte, we don't know. But I'll start with you, Brian, because you've been very vocal about the Levy out. I saw your comment on Twitter saying this is what we wanted, so praise where praise is due. What do you make of that? All into the club in terms of all to Conte or split, or how do you read that? And do you think it's genuine that they are investing 150 million, or do you think there's something else there? What are your thoughts on that?
So I'm choosing my words very carefully. No, and there's reason behind it. Listen, there's a lot of people that have come out with Levy outers going, look, we told you. I mean, someone even tweeted me to said, I told you, Brian, it was all part of a 20-year plan. I was like, yeah, okay, that's exactly what it was. As I said in my tweet, the announcement is positive. It sounds positive. It looks positive. And I'm hoping if it quacks like a duck and sounds like a duck, then it's a duck. Now, I am staying very, very neutral right now. Very neutral. I'm not going to say this is bullshit. I'm not going to say this is legit. I am just going to sit here and we'll wait and see what happens. Listen, as I said all along, this is, and you two know me very well. We've been streaming together. We've met and everything. I'm very, very vocal about this. And this is all the Levy out people wanted. Investment into the club. And regular being the word. Right now, it's a statement. It's a statement. We are investing 150 million. Let's see, come pre-season, if it's me coming out. Like I said, and I will do going, you've done it again, Levy. You've impressed me. Well done. Keep it going. Or the other way. I'm hoping it's that way. But at the moment, as you know, social media is going rife with, we're linked with every Tom, Dick and Harry, which is the same as any other summer. Let's face it. But there's just, I mean, the one I'm waiting for, and if this happens, then I'll be like, do you know what? There could be something in this. Conte has come out and said, get Bastoni at all costs. Get Bastoni in at all costs. Now, if Bastoni walks in, I'll be like, do you know what? Fair play. That was the number one target. That was the crown jewel that Conte wanted. And then it adds some weight to it. I'm just concerned that people at Villa are making big moves and here we are. Yes, I know there's people on holidays, blah 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 blah. But listen, I'm speaking to you at 7:30 in the morning from England to Canada. People can talk on holidays. People can, but yeah, we'll wait and see what happens. Listen, it's the first bit of actually real positive news we've had from the board, rather than bullshit, which we'll wait to see if it is or not. But it sounds positive. I just want to say to Swifty, sorry I didn't respond to your last message about Weghorst. I passed that. I fell asleep, so I do apologise. But yeah, I would take him.
Yeah. And Bob Tommy has said, spot on, Daigle. People are calling it a step. It's not. It's an announcement of intent. I want to see action.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
How do you read it, Tommy? Because all we've ever heard in the past is there's not enough money. We'll spend what we can. This is an actual statement, like Bob says and like Brian says, of here's 150 million. How it's going to be spent is, or if it's going to be spent is another thing. But this is more than we've had in the past. We normally just have comments saying, we don't have the money, or we'll spend the money if we have it. So how do you read it, and what's your take on it?
I think Brian's pretty much summed it up. I mean, there's nothing you can really say about it until we see action, to be honest with you. And then when we see action, we don't even know if it's come from that budget, because there'll be a budget anyway this summer, of course. You know, as tight as Levy has been with his purse strings over the last 20 years, there's always a budget. So we don't know if that's going to come out of the 150 mil. Why? I don't know why it's announced. I don't understand. Why do we need to know this? It's like he's patting himself on the back. ENIC patting themselves on the back. We're putting 150 in. I never heard other clubs do this. It's weird. It's a bit weird. And he does it a lot. He done something in January where he's sort of patting himself on the back by announcing something. I can't remember exactly what it was. It's just odd. It's very, very odd. Just sign players. We don't care what you invest in. We don't care if you want art. You know, we like art galleries. Everybody likes art galleries. So if you want an art gallery and you want a cinema, fine. But don't take it out of the transfer budget. And it did say on the statement, on and off the pitch. Didn't it?
Yeah, that's
on and off the pitch. So,
I mean, is this just an announcement to try and appease the fans? Obviously, there's a lot of people who want Levy out.
A lot of things.
The Man United game, the 3-0, there was a lot of discontent. So is it just a comment to try and convince the fans that he's being serious and try and get the fans a bit more on side? Or is it actually genuine, do you think, that there is that 150 million that's being put in because he wants to improve the team, or Conte's told him you need to improve the team?
So it's like Tommy said when he said no other team does this. No other team. But then you look at it and you're right. Who else comes out with a statement to try and get the fans excited and says both on and off the pitch? And you're like, oh, here we go. There's that. You were doing fine until you said and off the pitch. Bob's right. Superman is right when they're saying it's not a step. I think I called it a step, and Bob's correcting me. He's right. It's an announcement of intent. Listen, Bob and I are planning to inject 200 million into Spurs. There you go. We'll release a press conference and now say me and Bob are. This is it. You could say you two could turn around and say I'm going to buy this car. I'm buying a Rolls Royce. When are you getting this Rolls Royce? 10 years, 20 years. It's listen. Like I said, if Bastoni comes in. If Bastoni comes through the door, listen, Fraser Foster, I mean, I don't know where this one has come from, but listen, it's a backup keeper, whatever. I'm not going to go in on that. But if Bastoni is not in very, very quickly, and I mean very quickly, no, if they say, right, we £51 million, he's yours, I don't want, right, we'll offer you 45.5, and it's like, right, 51 million, bang, there you go. Get some of these players out the doors. If Bastoni walks through the door within the next couple of weeks, and I mean the next couple of weeks, then you're like, do you know what? Maybe this summer's going to be one of those where we can expect good things. But it's just, you've seen it now. I mean, the one I saw yesterday, we're relinked with Moussa Dembele, the striker. Couldn't get him when he was at Fulham. Couldn't get him when he was at Celtic. And now he's leaving Lyon. we're going back all these obviously it's Twitter, so it's whatever we want to take from it. But you could just see all these players that we've gone for before and failed. These stories are rejuvenating, or sorry, reappearing. Listen, again, it's a sign of intent, and let's just hope their intent is pure and true. But based on records, it's not. But sign a Bastoni, and then then you're going to have some more fans will have a lot more confidence.
Yeah, a couple of comments there. Bobby K, Levy knows Daigle is incoming. He's just shielding himself. Well played, Levy. And then Bob Spur, investment plus player sales, Premier League and Champions League money, match day revenue, events, naming rights, one hell of a kitty. It's a waiting game, 22 years waiting. And he's also said Leandro Damio has just landed at Heathrow. I mean, you mentioned Twitter there. I don't pay any attention to Twitter. I've seen Bastoni's very interested, wants to work with Conte, couldn't care less about Tottenham, wants to go to Man United. It's broken down, and I don't trust any of that crap until it comes from Conte's mouth, the player's mouth. He's holding the shirt on the Spurs official site. Not interested. But Tommy, in terms of Bastoni, Conte wants him. So would that be a bigger sign of intent, do you think, us going and getting Bastoni if like Brian says, get him at all costs, than just saying, here's some money? Because that actually is action rather than just, here's some money.
Before I touch on Bastoni, I just want to say, we can't, Bob's great saying, there you go, he's put it in. I didn't even realise he's put that in, but he's just put that in until they hold the shirt. And you've already sort of delved on it a little bit. But the thing is, a manager will never ever come out and say he's interested in a player. It's just, it goes against the grain. It's disrespect to the other club, disrespect to the manager of the other team's players. So that's never going to happen, which is fine. So it is literally until they hold the shirt. It's literally until they hold the shirt, because this, when I heard the Fonseca deal was 99.9% done last summer. 99.9% done. And who reported that? Mr. Romano. 99.9% done. So I don't care who's reporting it. I don't care if it's Alistair Gold. I don't care who it is. Until they hold the shirt, it does not matter. It does not matter. Yeah. And in terms of Bastoni, I was, I've been looking at him in detail. I've done a little transfer stream last night, and actually it was the week before I looked at him in depth. And I like him. He's a very, very good player. Left-footed centre-back. Good age, 23, and obviously worked under Conte. So, but we don't know if Conte's interested. We don't know if Conte wants to spend the £60 million unless he's phoned him and someone's tapped up the lines or WhatsApped Bastoni and someone's found out. We don't know. I'd imagine he's interested. I imagine he is interested because he was, he was at Inter last season. I imagine he was interested. Sorry, Brian.
No, what I was about to say on top of that, Tommy, is I think that within the club, Conte has made it known that Bastoni is a must-do, where all these other media outlets, like Conte, won't come out, like you said, and say, "Yep, we want him," blah blah blah, because none of these players. Only Pep did with Kane, where he started trying to play games. But I'm sure within the club.
I see, Brian. I understand what you're saying. But who's he telling then? Because there must be a mole then.
Of course, they're all mate. There's always. It doesn't matter what you do. There is a mole at every single club.
Was this actually Conte coming out and saying it? Was this one of these Twitter accounts? Conte has said this.
I think I think to a certain extent, it's lazy reporting, because the only summer managers we were attracted to last summer were Italian managers, Fonseca, Gattuso. It all come out, and it was mostly bullshit. Let's face it. And some of the players that came out were bullshit. The only player we actually signed from Italy was Romero and Golini, a backup goalkeeper. So the serious player we signed, Gil, Emerson Royal, they were from Spain. So it's lazy journalism. It makes sense that we're interested in Bastoni, and he's a very good player. He is a good player. I'm not so on the player himself. He's very tall. And he plays left centre back for Inter Milan. I'm not sure if he's pacey enough at 6'4", 6'5", to play in our system as a left centre back. I'd love him as a middle centre back. I think if we bring him in, we should use him as a middle centre back. He'll be fantastic.
You say that about pace though, but our current left centre back Ben Davies isn't quick either. So
But we
It's
don't want him.
almost a like
But
for like.
we don't want him. We didn't spend 50 million pounds on him. So yeah, we want. Yeah, I think as a middle centre back, he could work fine as a left centre back. But I think as a middle centre back for someone that big, I worry about him in Serie A. I worry about him in Serie A. But he's still he's a quality operator. It's going to cost more than 50 million though. He's going to cost closer to 70 million. They paid 30 million for him when he was 18. Inter off at Atalanta, 30 million. So, yeah, I think it'll cost close to the 70 mil. And if Conte wants him, then pay the money. If Conte wants him, then absolutely pay the money. But we don't know. We don't know until they hold the show. No. We don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Ian said here, how you doing, Ian? Why wouldn't a player's agent leak a club is interested in his client to see what other offers are out there? Same goes for the same club. That's exactly the same as Luis Diaz. So even if we'd have bid exactly what his club, I can't remember the club, and he wanted,
Porto.
his agent would have just gone, Porto, thanks. His agent would have just gone to Liverpool. Spurs are going to be signing him, and then Liverpool go and do the same, and he wants to go to Liverpool. So I think there's a lot
exactly. But just to respond to that, but we could lie. Agent could absolutely lie. Why couldn't he lie about the links with Tottenham?
Of course they do.
Yeah.
He could lie about the links with Tottenham. So it still doesn't mean they're true. It doesn't mean they're true. No. As I said, until they hold the shirt, I'll keep saying it. We don't know they're true, Ian. So they can, exactly, that will happen. So it could be bullshit again. It could absolutely be bullshit. This link with Bastoni. It might not be. And it sounds like, it makes sense that we're interested. But let's make a bid. Let's make a formal bid. Let's go through contract negotiations. Before we start guessing games.
Yeah, I mean, no pissing about. Just go and allegedly you've got the money there, so just go and bid what is wanted. But this 150 million announcement, do you think that's from Conte pressure, the protests, or both being the catalyst? Because this is the first season, isn't it? That Man United 3-0 game where Levy verbally got, I wouldn't say abused, but verbally criticised at a game which TV cameras picked up.
Yeah. Before,
it's just been kind of online and outside on transfer deadline days. This was actually in the stadium in front of live TV cameras. So, and then Conte is, if Conte next year finishes fourth and we win a League Cup, we'll be delighted because we're in Champions League and we've won a cup. He'll be furious because he hasn't improved that league position. He's a winner. So he's not just going to say if Levy goes, well, we can't afford it. And, he's not going to be happy about that. So do you think Conte or the protests or both or other factors are the catalyst behind this announcement?
So obviously, when it comes to the protests, I'm very, very deep within that circle or whatever. But what I've got to say here, sir, first of all, and I said it on our channel on Tottenham on Tour when I addressed everyone when we went live on Tuesday afternoon. So I straight away came out when this was announced. Well, when this was actually announced, Bob and Ben from We Are Tottenham TV would not stop phoning me. And stupidly, I got myself into such a panic thinking, what the hell's happened to Bob? Is Bob okay? And I thought Bob wouldn't be phoning me if something had happened to Bob. So I know Bob's okay. But that was the first thing because of the way my phone was going. And then obviously I heard it. I thought, you know what? He's made this statement. I've got to say something on Twitter before I get battered from all the Levy in and whatever. So I came out and wrote something. And I said, listen, as I've always said, I'm man enough to criticise. I'm man enough to give praise where it's due. And this does deserve praise if it happens. And it's a big move, or as Bob said, big sign of intent. But then I got idiots who decided to not look at that, but start trolling me, whatever. And saying, I want to sit in the Brian Daigle stand and all this stupid nonsense because they thought I was taking credit for it myself. Never have I stood up and said, this is all down to me. What I will say is you put the heading up again, Chris, just so I can see how the bullet point was. So, right, let's just leave that. So first of all, Antonio Conte. Antonio Conte was tried to be signed before season ticket renewals went out for last season. There was no Paratici. Within an hour of the season ticket renewal line deadline going, miraculously, the Conte deal fell through. Miraculously, like some kind of weird coincidence. Read into that what you will. Now, for 21 years or 20 years or however long people have been leaving out, me 14, have had to see years and years and years and years and years and years and years of lies and or false promises or this happening. And then the 1 year that there is constant protest, whether they're big in numbers at the ground or social media presence, and I've always said social media is where this battle is going to be won. It's not like the sugar days where there was no social media or anything. And then obviously we had the Levy out at Man U, which I was there for, and then Conte comes in, and then training ground protests. Kulusevski and Bentancur come in, and then listen, I'm not stupid enough to say this is all down to Levy out protests, because it's not. It's not. It's a majority Antonio Conte. It is a majority, a huge majority. But like I said, when I'm big enough to come out and say, yep, this is a step forward. Oh, sorry, I keep saying the word step forward. Bob's right. Intent of a step forward. The impact Levy out had after, let's say, the 14 years that I've been Levy out, where there's been nothing apart from the odd person or the few people on Twitter, to constant pressure, things have happened. Now, like I said, I'm not stupid enough or naive enough or that arrogant to say, yeah, it's all down to us. It's all down to us. And what you got to remember as well, when I talk about Levy out people, is there are thousands, tens of thousands, probably more of people that are Levy out. Now, every single one of them aren't part of the collective I'm with. So every time there's a bad Levy out comment, people naturally think, oh, it's the protesters, or it's when it's not. We haven't got attacking or being personal or anything like that. But there are people out there on Twitter that will get highly toxic and highly. But because they do that, because we are at the protest, because I have this platform to speak about what's going on or voice my grievances, they automatically think that everyone's associated with us. But getting back onto this, it's put it this way: do I think the protests help? 100 billion%. Do I think it affected everything, lock, stock, and all down to us? No, not at all, not at all. But it certainly paid some kind of dividends into what's going on right now, in my honest opinion.
Yeah. What do you think, Tommy?
In terms of this, I think the fans. I was at the Man United game before when Nuno got sacked the following day, and it just went off. It went absolutely off. Levy out. It was the first time. It was the first time Levy out had that against him. I think the first real time. And the last time I saw that, it worked as well. It worked again with West Ham with David Sullivan. And David Sullivan, the owner, the West Ham fans went crazy. In fact, it was a little bit more violent than our ones. I'm not condoning violence. There wasn't any violence in the Man United when the fans combined as a collective and started shouting Levy out. But the West Ham fans did, and David Sullivan started spending serious money after that. Contract salary increased, and West Ham are where they are now. They're in the semi-finals of Europa League, fighting top four the last 2 seasons since then. So it was definitely a catalyst. The protest what made Levy sack Nuno, without a shadow of a doubt for me. If there were no protests on that day, I think Nuno would have had a few weeks in the job. So and then obviously Levy had to get the big man in. He had to make a big decision and get a big man in. They don't get bigger than Conte, do they? Top 3 managers in the world. The fact that he was available as well, but top 3 managers in the world. So it was to appease the fans again. But that if we get an Antonio Conte in to appease the fans, fantastic. And I do feel like what Brian Daigle's done, the more I don't want to say violent. I'm not saying violent, but more
passionate,
but slightly more aggressive. Levy out campaigners, certainly in social media, make a difference. Make a huge difference. And even on Sky Sports, we saw a few scenes with the Levy out banners. And that gets into the mind of Spurs fans. We realise that the investment hasn't been good enough. We realise that there are many ways Levy's run this club that have not been good enough. We see it across social media. So when we're losing 3-0 to Man United in the stadium, we can see it. We can see in the stadium that the fans revolt. They did that day. So the protests outside the stadium on social media matter. And then when you see it in the stadium, that's where it ended, and it catapulted us to, getting rid of Nuno and bringing Conte in. It was massive part of it. Massive part of it.
Yeah. Let me get to some comments. There's some on this as well. I'm going to come to Bob Spurs one last. From Ian, there's another side. Levy said he couldn't compete with 36k stadium. He therefore built a 62k one first season of income. Bentley has the money. Potentially. The Levy upgrade, though, are essential to keep Levy on his toes. Time for a ceasefire and see what Conte and Paratici can do before the window closes.
Can I just comment on that, Chris? Can
I
just
agree
comment
with
on
that.
that?
I agree with that.
Ian Meth, again, came into this community, and I love Ian dearly. And Bob Spur brought him in. What he's just said in that last comment is in both those comments, actually, is bang on the money. Now,
he's also said this. That's why I think you've done your job, whatever influence it's had. As I said, leave it a bit and see what they deliver.
Well, this is the thing. Like I said, right now, like I said at the beginning, and this is why I wanted to talk to Ian as well, because Ian and I get on famously when we first came onto, and I love doing streams with him. But he, again, there's a lot of people in the community which are obviously welcome, like Sean, Ian, and Rez, that know a lot of the financial aspects of it and a lot of that side of it. Listen, I've never claimed to be the financial expert. I've never claimed to be a whiz kid with numbers. I speak as people know, straight from the heart and with passion and raw aggression sometimes because of what's going on in my club, and I do that on the supporter side. Ian and the people I mentioned as well do that as well, but obviously they've got that side of the game covered a lot more than I do. And I love listening to Ian's insight and answers and how he sees things. And the first one, where he's talking about the 62, the new stadium, obviously that was a huge part of this. And the second part, where for him saying the Levy are essential for him, this is what I love about it. People like Bob tried to find people that were Levy not out, but not in, but he was trying to find Levy in or on the fence, but just not Levy out to come on and have their opinion.
People who hadn't made their mind up yet.
Yeah, and obviously there's a lot of people that feel they won't come on because they think we'll all go rah, 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 and just literally shut them down. But Ian came on, and he actually came on a Levy out special or a Levy in or out special. And every moment I spend on the stream with him is fantastic, and I appreciate everything he says. And we agree pretty much on absolutely everything. And we're very close on this leap. I mean, when it comes to the fuck ups, I'll go nuclear. He'll be like, wait. But the things he's said is what it's about is the ceasefire. Listen, I'm going very, very quiet. And when I say quiet, I'm not going to start shooting my mouth off before shit happens and gets burnt again. Because I've been there before and going, look, this is going to happen. And when it happens, blah, blah. And sometimes it doesn't happen. It's like, Brian, what do you know? What the fuck? So listen, I am prepared right now, like I said, to see what happens. But when I will start losing patience and when I will start, isn't the end of the window. It's the day before pre-season starts. Because Conte once again has said pre-season. That we do know. Yeah. Like Poch, pre-season. And I don't mean all your transfer activity. I mean the main ones you want, the main stars that you think are going to get this club up to the next level. Those guys need to be in before career. And if they're not, then my quietness might change and go up about 3,000 decibels.
A lot of people as well saying it doesn't stop at one window. Absolutely agree with that.
Exactly.
If you spend money in this window, it's got to be January or certainly next summer. But a question from Bob Spur here, preview question from In the Wall. I'm assuming that will be on tomorrow. In a time of recession, people in the UK rely on food banks to feed their families. Should we feel a bit uncomfortable with this investment? For me, if you say yes to that, you've got to get upset about films like Spider-Man coming out, which cost God knows how many hundreds of millions. Mbappe signing a deal worth God knows how much. So I think it's just a sign of the times.
We found out that Tobey Maguire was a Spurs fan through that Spider-Man movie, so it's worth every single penny.
Tobey Maguire, was it Tom Holland?
Tobey Maguire,
I was about to say, we've got two Spider-Mans. We've got two Spider-Man supporting.
Yeah. Well, then I've seen Doctor Strange came out, and that cost a lot of money because I don't know where Benedict Cumberbatch's football allegiances lie. But yeah,
watch Top Gun. Watch Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, Top Gun. That must have cost a pretty penny. You know,
it was like $160 million.
So,
160. I think it cost 10 million pounds more than the leaving investment. So it wasn't cheap.
So on that respect, Bob, I'm not that bothered about it because it's just a sign of the times that rich people can afford to do that. I'm more upset with the fact that I was indoors where certain assholes who can't comb their hair properly decide to have parties and lie about it in their place of work. But anyway, we'll move on from that. Let's go on. Tommy, Conte's wish list. If you were Conte, what do you think he needs? I'm still adamant Eriksen's coming back. He adamant Inter, whether he fancied him there or not, but we're crying out for someone creative. And the fact with 5 subs in the league next year, we're in the Champions League, which won't be like you Conference League where you play your second string. I think the squad is going to be vitally important. And he obviously knows the club in terms of what Brian was talking about in pre-season. He won't need a huge amount of time of bedding in because he knows the culture and the club and most of the players there. He certainly knows Conte as well. And he knows how Conte plays. So I think he'll come in, which will obviously be free. But what do you think his wish list will be in terms of types of players and any players that you can think kind of that player?
Right, so in terms of position, you've got to go backup goalkeeper. It looks like that's already sorted with Forster. 2 centre-backs, minimum 2 centre-backs. Middle centre-back and a left centre-back. 2 wing-backs. We can't go in the next season with Reggie and Cess. We need to lose one of them. I think Conte... I don't think Conte
Reggie
really
will be going back
Reggie.
to Real?
No chance. Not 40 million pounds. Okay. Not a chance in hell. Real Madrid, they haven't got any money anyway. So they're not certainly not paying for a backup.
It's only a quick phone call to the royal family, and then they've got about half a fucking country's worth, haven't they? So
you got to remember I'll let you finish. Sorry, I just want to say when it comes to Reguilon, they'll buy him back just to sell him for more money.
Yeah, I love the fact that Mbappe has turned down Real Madrid because Real Madrid think they're the greatest team in the world, can do absolutely anything. All they have to do is phone that newspaper up. Phone up the royal family. Could we have a bit more money, please? We've spunked it on people who are fucking useless. And then they get everything they want. I love the fact that Mbappe has turned them down.
Mbappe saying he wanted to go to Real Madrid last season, smoke and mirrors in it. So PSG give him a bigger contract. We just talked about agents. Yeah. So that was I reckon that was. But
Real Madrid are unhappy. So and Real Madrid saying it ruins the integrity of the game. I mean, where do you start with that? You can have a whole stream on how contradictory that bloody is. But anyway, that's something for something else.
Right, so carrying on with left wing back, as I said, I think we need to lose one of them, Cess or Reggie. Cess ended the season very well, last 3 games of the season. So I'd imagine Conte wants to keep him. He's younger, he's homegrown. I like Reggie. I actually do like Reggie. I think he can cross a ball. I think he gets to the byline well. Last season, this season at left wing back, he's not been good. The last 6 months, especially left wing back.
I think Cess has been really impressive. Really bad. Sort that injury out.
I think it's a bit. I think the last 3 games he's been good. Sessegnon. He's still got big defensive deficiencies. He signed as a left winger, so that makes sense. He was signed as a left winger from Fulham. I think the final season at Fulham he scored 15 goals as a left winger, so he's a left winger. He's gone to left wing back and he's done a good job in some games. So as I said, I think we'll sell Reggie. We're not getting £40 million, no chance. Right wing back. Yeah, we have to sell Emerson or Doherty. Emerson we won't be able to sell, like Ndombele. He'll have to be a loan deal or something, and then maybe hope for a future fee. I think that's my own opinion on that matter. We certainly need a right wing back. What
would you do with Ndombele? Because I think someone told me I was on Paxton Road TV yesterday, and Sam was saying that, or someone was saying that Conte said if he does come back, he's on the reserves, training with the reserves.
If you loan it, He'll have people that want to loan him again. He'll have people that want to loan him again. Certainly, and Ndombele, he's got that talent where there will be suitors. There will certainly be suitors in terms of that talent. They'll try and get the best out of him because the talent, we can all see the talent is there. Extremely talented boy, Ndombele. So I think he'll certainly go on a loan move again. I don't think Doherty's going to be sold because we can't really get much money for him. Emerson will be loaned. So 2 centre backs, right wing back, left wing back, centre mid if Winks goes. Remember, Skip's coming back. I think we all hope he will. So that would be good. Yeah, that would be a good start.
I think for him as well, he obviously gets a lot of flack, but I think he's not a terrible player. He's just obviously regressed in the same way that Dele has. But he did a really good job for us in like 16, 17. So I think for him,
The
he needs
Champions
to
League
leave
run
as
as
much
well.
as anything. Yeah, I think
Champions
for him, he
League run,
needs
it
to
was
leave and try and
fantastic.
revive his career.
Yeah. Good for him. Yeah, good for all parties. I think Wink's going.
Yeah. What do you think
Yeah, I
about
think
this,
Southampton
Maudio?
or Brighton. We
Yeah.
talked about that like last night stream.
Yeah, sneaky
I think
feeling Harvey
Audio
White can be
mentioned it.
converted into a left wing back.
But the thing is, with Harvey White, if you convert Harvey White into a left wing back, that means that you've got, and you sell Reggie, you've got Harvey White and Reggie for the season. So, no, Harvey White and Cess for the season, which is risky to say the least, especially with Sessegnon's injuries. And Harvey White's a natural centre midfielder. I think he can certainly probably play there. But yeah, very, very risky selling Reggie and putting Harvey White there, or vice versa. So yeah, left wing back, right wing back, 2 centre backs, backup keeper. We've already got one by the looks of it. Centre mid if Winks goes, and they're definitely a backup striker. Whatever happens, we need another striker to play with Kane or backup. And then if we sell Lucas, Bergwijn, or Gill, we'll need a backup in those positions too, because they will be backup because you've got Son, Kulu, and Kane. So if we sell any of those players. I think we're definitely loaning 3 players out again. So Gill's going back on loan, Ndombele's going out on loan, Emerson's going out on loan. So that's how I see it. We need 6 players. I think we need like 6 players. 6 players probably, and that's realistic because we could get rid of 15 in reality. But I think 6 players out, maybe 7, realistic.
Yeah, and before I ask you, Brian, just a couple of comments. Ian here. Cess is a natural winger / wing back. Reggie is a full back. Obviously, we play with wing backs with Conte, so obviously that steads Cess in stuff. And here we are. How you doing, Brad? And Bob Spur here. I do believe the reason why Emerson and Cess have been lauded by some of the fan base towards the end is because the majority, they've been poor to average, both need upgrading. I'd keep Sessegnon. I'd get rid of Emerson.
100% I agree with Bob. 100% I agree with Bob.
Yeah, I'd keep
fickle. We're fickle. We're a fickle fan base after 3 games.
Yeah.
You know, we're very,
and then
very
Ian's also said in regards to the striker Jesus from Man City. Thoughts, Brian? What would be your wish list?
So I'm starting with Reguilon straight away, and I've been saying this. It's something Ian and I agree with again. Sessegnon, if we're playing a back 4, Reguilon is better than Sessegnon, without a shadow of a doubt. But we are never going to play a back 4 with Conte. We've seen it through our season this season, and if we do, it'll be very, very, very rare. So he's just not fit for purpose. Whether there's a player in there or not, he's just not fit for purpose. We need another left wing back. As much as I love Sessegnon, what I want to see is a experienced right here, right now, number 1 left wing back to come in, and then Sessegnon can rotate and learn from this guy, ready to be the next one, with him being so young. There is a player in there, and if that happens, it can limit his injuries, because obviously we can try to address that whilst the number 1 left back is playing, or left wing back, sorry. Bastoni for me, and listen, I've heard things from the only Italian source I will ever listen to in Iggy, and mate, his knowledge, as we all know, on Italian football is the one to go to. He actually prefers Bremer, which I don't know a lot about, but apparently the Bastoni deal is the domino effect of Bremer going to Inter as his replacement. So it looks like that one's not going to happen. Bastoni for me is a must. Right wing backs we definitely need upgrading on. Dyer I think will be upgraded on, but as I look at everywhere that needs upgraded, he's the least concern. I mean, Bob mentioned it as well when they mentioned about Ben Davies. They were saying they need a replacement for Ben Davies, but now they're saying they need competition for him, because I've said it a few weeks now. He has been nothing short of sensational the last few weeks. Since the Liverpool game. He has 1 billion% earned the right to at least be within that squad. And if he comes off the bench to replace a Bastoni or whatever with 20, 30, 40, whatever, I'll be like, do you know what? Fine.
Yeah, you wouldn't be worried, would you?
No, not at all. Midfield needs improving on. Listen, as much as we know we need a backup striker, or competition, as I say, competition for Kane, it ain't happening. We've done 7 years without it. We all know we've needed it, and time again, it just doesn't happen. I think the main thing is the defence has been a rock, but if that can become like we had when we had the best defence in the league 2 years in a row, with Jan and Toby, and then you look at that front 3, So yes, the midfield does need addressing, but I think as we're hearing, the defence is the most important thing for him to make sure he gets all his targets in. And if that defence becomes as tight can be, then we're laughing with that front three. So for me, it's addressing that defence first.
Yeah, and welcome to you, Brad, transatlantic Brad. We've got some kind of interference. I don't know if you've got a phone near your microphone or anything, but yeah, what are your thoughts on 150 million pounds, and what would be your wish list if you were Conte?
I can hear him. I can hear you because you're in the bedroom, and I can hear you, but I can't hear you.
I was going to say, is he in the same house as you? Is he in the same house as you? Doesn't look like it, but
yeah, very blocky.
I can't hear Brad saying. Oh,
yeah, Brad, we can't hear you, buddy.
Drag him into your room, Brian, and then
just do mime. Just do the mime. Just try.
You know what?
Mime
Wait a minute. Let me sign out, and then we're both going to sign in on my tablet.
Okay.
We'll be back in 1 sec.
Okay.
Technical difficulties. We'll be back in a second. Please hold the line.
I just want to say, Ben Davies has been really, really good. In fact, I think he's had a better second half of the season than Dyer. I really do.
That Liverpool game, he was fantastic, unbelievable against Liverpool, and Arsenal. He didn't make a huge amount of blocks, but he got booked fairly early on in that game, in a real pressure cooker game. Didn't get sent off. Didn't do anything that you'd think, oh, Conte's going to have to take him off. He's walking on a tightrope here. Very, very disciplined. I think that's something that Brad said when he was on the show after the Arsenal game. Very, very disciplined, and in complete contrast, you look at Holding, who had absolute mare and then got himself sent off. But yeah, absolutely superb, Ben Davies, and he was maligned a little bit earlier in the season. You know, always regarded as a 7 out of 10. Certainly in the last few games, he was much more than a 7 out of 10.
As was Doherty. Loads of people were. And then they have 3 good games, and everyone's talking about.
Like Ian said here with Davies, he doesn't think he made a foul after his yellow. Absolutely superb. I mean, he obviously didn't have to.
It's a tough position to play. Left centre back and right centre back is a very, very.
Especially, I think he was against Saka as well, wasn't he? I think Martinelli was on the.
Yeah, he would have been on the left. Martinelli was on the left. Saka was on the right. Yeah.
But yeah, welcome back to Brian. I don't know if Brad.
Brad, I just said to you, turn that off and come in here.
But yeah,
we're in different countries. It doesn't look like you're in the same country.
I know Canada's big. I know Canada's big, but the rooms aren't that big.
But yeah, I mean, yeah. In terms of the season review, we'll get Brad's thoughts on the 150 million when he gets into the other room in 20 minutes from Brian's mansion. There he
is. I wish it was a mansion, mate. I wish it was a mansion.
How you doing, Brad?
Thank you. Good. Thank you. Enjoying Toronto. It's been absolutely brilliant. Weather's been brilliant, although today it's raining.
We'll call you transatlantic Brad from now on until you come back to the UK. But we've already mentioned it, but quickly, what are your thoughts on 150 million? Will Conte get that? And what would be your wish list if you were him in terms of positions and more players?
First of all, it's obviously it's complicated how the accounts work and all the finance works and all that. From what I've read from people like Annie Gold, the majority of that money raised will be given to Conte and the team. So, as I said, cautiously optimistic, cautiously happy with it. But I think I heard Brian say earlier, let's see where we are on the 1st of July when pre-season starts. If Conte's got the players he wants, then I'll be happy and say, well done, ENIC, well done the board for backing the team. But until that moment happens, I'm just holding fire at the moment and just sort of we're trying to relax and enjoy my holiday and hopefully we will sign some players. I mean, there's talk in people like Alistair Gold and that we're interested in certain players and the right players that everyone. My knowledge of European football is not that brilliant, but from what I read about these people like Bastoni and was it Kovic or whatever it's called. As far as a wish list, and I'm only probably mirroring what everyone else has been saying. Davis and Dyer have done absolutely brilliant, but if we want to be challenging for titles, we've got to upgrade. I'd love to see him stay at Tottenham, and they're great squad to be in the squad. We need wing backs is a big area because that's a big part of the way Conte plays football is his system. So we definitely need wing backs. If he has to sell 3 of the others, I'm fine with that. I think they've done okay. I think their heart's in the right place, but they're obviously not good enough if we're going to be challenging things like titles. If an offer comes in for Reguilon that's good, yeah, fine, not a problem. I'm not so sure that Madrid want to pay 40 million for him, whatever the fee was. We probably need a creative midfielder only insofar as it gives an option and it gives a chance for Conte to play the 3-5-2. And obviously we need some sort of another forward. It doesn't necessarily have to be a striker, but it has to be a forward that can play striker and play wide out. Someone like when we were supposed to be in for Watkins the other season, someone like that. That's 1, 2, that's 4. That's about 6 players. So yeah, that's what I hope we go for.
Yeah,
I have to say, I've just seen on Last Word on Spurs, and this is where it makes me laugh. So they've just said, wait 1 second, Stansted. Okay, so where is that tweet? Give me 1 second because it's now just. There it is. So Tottenham Hotspur are increasingly confident that Antonio Conte will now stay at the club for next season. Managing director for Fabio Paratici and Spurs boss Conte are meeting in Turin today. Well, I'm sure I saw across a billion different Twitters people had a photo of him at Stansted Airport yesterday. So unless he's flown back to Stansted for some reason, then back to do you know what? This is what this summer's going to be about. Just complete.
It's clickbait, though, isn't it? Like Tommy said earlier, easy journalism, easy clickbait. But yeah, I mean, Ian said here, Ericsson, bad question mark for me. I think he's coming back. That certainly sorts out, the last half hour in games or start against the teams who are going to sit back.
If it's the Ericsson that we saw play for Brentford and saw play against us, and it's a free transfer, well, it's a no-brainer, really. And medically,
even then, he's free, so I don't think it's that much of a risk. He knows the club, he knows most of the players, he knows
Premiership ready.
I think it's a fairly risk-free.
Would you take him over Bale? Would you definitely take him over Bale with both are free?
Yeah, because I can see because I can see Bale being more of a bench plan. Bale obviously wouldn't want to do that with the World Cup coming up, although he's not going to get into the Wales team, is he? But I think that sort of player, and also with Ericsson, I said he's Premiership ready. Actually, I forgot what I was going to say now, but no, I think Ericsson would be a bit of a no-brainer if he's available and he wants. I think he's played under Conte at Inter. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, when they won the title. So it's all no-brainer. Well, I would like to say, you might have already talked about this. I've just seen on the Spurs website that we're going to play a friendly now against Roma on July the 30th, which I found was rather interesting, considering what's happened in the past.
It will be interesting, yeah. I mean, let's move on to a season.
What they're doing Israel to keep the IDF to help him keep Mourinho away from Levy. That's why.
Yeah, I mean, one thing now that Dane Scarlett has signed a contract extension, loan the guy out, get him some first team experience because he ain't going to get in the first team here. Loan him out, get him some first team experience. And if Harvey White isn't going to play, Alfie Devine isn't going to play, do exactly the same. Or start playing them. But we'll move on to a season review. Although I would say, Brad, I hope Brian's been making you cups of tea in the morning. Otherwise, that TripAdvisor rating might have to be a bit lower than normal.
Right, excuse me. I will go make the cup. Fucking hell, Chris.
It's only a joke. It was only a joke.
Can I just say, before we move on from Ericsson, can I just say there are heavy links with Liverpool. There are heavy links with Liverpool now. There are heavy links with Ericsson going to Liverpool.
Say that again?
Yeah.
Say again,
Ericsson to Liverpool. I saw
that.
And Daily Mail, Metro, and apparently Gary Neville saying urges Reds to sign Christian Eriksen this summer. But there
remains to be seen.
Multiple reports.
I think it's easy journalism, like you say. Everyone knows he's after. Spurs are after him. But what I will say is, you're welcome.
Liverpool's weird though. Liverpool's weird though. Liverpool Eriksen is very odd.
Yeah.
Like the Bastoni to Jose, the Bastoni to Tottenham makes sense because he used to manage.
Yeah.
But Eriksen to Liverpool doesn't really make a lot of sense. So you think maybe there is something true there. Maybe there is something right there. I don't know.
It also might be that Eriksen might think that, well, I don't really want to go back to Tottenham because, even though I love the club, I want to do something different. So he might. It's up to him, really, I guess. If both
we'll
teams
see what happens in the next few weeks or whatever. But we've got half hour left. I've got a meeting at 2. I've only just remembered that. But before we move on to a season review, Tommy, I did see this. I always say I don't bother looking at the Twitter things and anything like that or the gossip comments, but I did see this, potentially a new contract for Kane. Whether that's the case or not, who knows? But do you think there'll be an offer? Obviously, he's got 2 years left, I think. Yeah, it was 3 years last summer, wasn't it? 2 years left.
Yeah.
He loves Conte. We're in the Champions League again, so by his own words, we're progressing from where we were last season. But if he does sign a contract, you can bet any money you have there's a release clause if we don't get Champions League or something, or don't win a cup, because he will not make that mistake again.
Yeah, this time, yeah.
Ian's heading off. Cheers, Ian. Thanks for all the comments, and thanks to everybody for the comments. Please hit the like. Please hit the subscribe. Really helps the channel. But yeah, do you think there is any truth in that, or is again lazy journalism?
Yeah, I think he will. I think he will sign a contract because he should be on more than 200 grand a week. To be honest with you, I know it sounds like a stupid amount of money, but it's compared to other players on the planet. Like Lewandowski must be on 400, 450 grand. I think Kane's up there with Lewandowski, if not better, especially with the assists he gives to a team as well. So I think you got to give him a contract to another 300 grand a week, something like that, and another year extension. I felt like top four was, I said it for a long time too.
Yeah.
2 months before the end of the season, top four is essential for so many reasons. And the fact that we got it means that I think if Conte stayed or we got top four, Kane would stay. But we got both. And if we didn't get top four, Conte might have gone to Paris Saint-Germain or something like that. So the fact that we've got top four and Conte, Harry Kane staying put. And Man City signed Haaland, didn't they? Man City have confirmed they've signed Haaland. So, yeah, he's not going anywhere. Maybe he could have gone to Man United if they finished in the top four again. They were runners up last season, but they've completely capitulated. So they're the only two clubs I could have seen him going to. So Harry Kane's staying, and the fact that he's staying, he should be on more money. So give him another 100 grand a week. And of course, another year extension. I think it's a given. To be honest with you, I think it's a given.
Yeah, I think so as well. And let's move on to season review, Brad. I mean, I was on Sam's show yesterday, Pax and Road TV, and he described the season as a roller coaster that was on fire. Not just a roller coaster, even more extreme than that. And it has been a crazy one. But I mean, who would have known at the time that losing 3-0 to Manchester United in one of the most dire displays we've seen would have been one of the best things to happen to us all season?
Yeah.
I mean, and then those last 4 games I thought were completely different games, completely different ways of playing, completely different opposition that we played. Shows that we can play in different ways and get results. I mean, obviously Liverpool was only 1-1, but in any kind of context, a 1-1 at Anfield is a brilliant result. And obviously it has helped. I think it gave the players so much confidence. If we can go away to Liverpool, who are chasing titles, they got all their first team out there, and we should have won. We can beat anybody. But yeah, you're kind of overriding views of the season and thoughts of the season.
Well, I think the funny thing was when we the first game after Man City, I was very, very optimistic. I thought, this is a team, they're playing well. They look like they're enjoying their football. And I made the comment, which in hindsight is actually a ridiculous comment, but it's almost like we're back to posh days. It's the club all together. And how wrong I was. Then you look at after the Man United game when Brian was over at that time. Was it over? Was it over here, over there? And we went for a curry and we just said, this is really, really, really bad day. Let's just enjoy our evening and not even think about football. So that's how he was. And at that time, I thought we'd be lucky to get top 6. And I thought we'd be like 7th or 8th. So to get 4th, I think it's actually an amazing achievement by Conte and the team. he's got them playing. He seems to. What I was really impressed about the Arsenal game and the Norwich game, and probably the Burnley game. The Burnley game was a little bit panic stations in injury time, but I was everyone in the crowd was. But
I thought that was the more important game, though. We've obviously beaten Arsenal easily, and then you've got to follow that up by hook or by crook, and we did that. So
what I loved was I didn't see all of the Norwich game. I only seen the highlights, but that we seem to put Arsenal away even routinely. It's like an almost routine win. You know, it's like we just, all right, we're here, we play our football, and we beat them. We had the first 5-6 minutes where we let them come on to us. And that seems to be the way we play now. Let the team have the ball for the first 5 minutes, come on to us, and then we break and we go forward. So, and also the Norwich game, you know, I mean, let's face it, everyone had in the back of their minds this slight little anxiousness. I was, but you know, by half time, 2-0, goal after in the second half, 3-0. We done it with ease. Really?
I mean, what I was particularly pleased about that was we could have been a bit cautious because all we needed was a draw, do not lose. But we not only got one, we won in style and obliterated a team that we should be obliterated with all due respect to Norwich. Confidence down confidence of them down in the pan, been relegated. We should be beating them fairly comfortably. And we got a golden boot into the equation as well.
Yeah, and it's, I think Pochettino needs to say that you compete with the team you're playing, no matter what level you're on. First of all, you have to compete with them. Once you compete with them, and you're competing with them on a level, you know, then if you've got the better players, which Tottenham obviously have, that will come into effect. And I think that's what happened at Norwich. And the beauty of that day was the fact that Arsenal won 5-1. We even gave the goal on them as well by winning 5-0. And I just think of the Arsenal fans at the stadium with their phones going, "Oh, Tottenham 1-0 up, or Tottenham 2-0 up, 3-0 all over." So they're winning 5-1, and they know they're not doing it, you know. So I got a lot of pleasure out of that. But no, I thought the way that we've been playing, and obviously the Liverpool game, Conte seems to have got that team playing to the way he wants them to play. That's why if you improve areas like wing backs and that, then I think this team, I think next season I'll be looking at third place next season and the cup. The only thing I will say about our season, and it was under Conte as well, and I'm not sure if you're going to go to ratings. I would give it an 8 out of 10, but I'll give it a 7 out of 10 because of our performances in the cups. We were absolutely awful in a lot of the cups. All right, we got to semi-final, but we were never in it against Chelsea. And then you look at the Mirror game, which was under Conte. You look at the Middlesbrough game. So because of the awfulness in the cup, then that lowers my mark. But it's been amazing. Who'd have thought this? You know, I mean, even the fact that we got Conte, no one thought we'd get Conte. I mean, Brian has a tattoo on his arm to prove that he didn't think we'd get Conte. And I was saying, I didn't think we'd get him. When I first saw that first rumour after that noon, I thought, no, here we go again. You know, so I was the same. I didn't think, but the fact that we got him, I thought, this is good. And yeah, I'm very, I thought the actual season in the end, and top four was the icing on the cake. I think that we've got a lot of stuff going for us at Tottenham Hotspur. We've got obviously the stadium and the training facilities that goes given. We've got the manager. We've got playing in the Premier League. These are all things that players that want to come transfer look to. We've got living in London, which is also another important thing. And the only thing that was missing was Champions League football. Now we've got it. So
absolutely.
And hopefully a little bit of money, you know, to spend. So let's see. But yeah, I'm really feeling good about Tottenham at the moment and looking forward to things.
I'm genuinely excited about next season. Just a quick one from Bob. I saw this as well. Kane made an appearance on Jimmy Fallon last night as a guest. Obviously working the American market. I couldn't find it. I've recorded Jimmy Fallon. It's not recorded, so hopefully I can watch it on catch up or whatever. But that itself will increase its value. It will also increase our value and stock in America. It will obviously... Everyone will see Kane on there. Let's find out about Kane. He plays for Tottenham. Let's have a look at Tottenham. But yeah, I mean, Tommy, your thoughts on the season? I'm not sure if you were here when I first asked, but who would have thought a Man United drubbing at home would have been one of the best things to happen to us this season? And obviously, we want to win cups. We want to win trophies. I think getting Champions League football from where we were when Conte took over is almost as important because it now shows the players that you trust me, I can get you to where you want to be. And Jose said that, but obviously didn't. He wasn't given the opportunity to win that cup. But Conte was. not a cup, but get top 4, and we've got it. And now you listen to all these opposition fans; they're worried about Tottenham next season, and I mean that fills me with a huge amount of excitement. Hopefully, that 150 million and the players that Conte want comes to fruition, and it's not just a statement like Bob and Brian were saying. But I think we're not going to get first or second, I don't think. We may mount a kind of half-hearted title challenge, but I think third will be fairly easy, I think, if we get the players we want and winning a cup. And I think that would be a tremendous achievement next season, a tremendous season. But what were your reviews, your thoughts on the season, and what do you think we can achieve next year?
Well, yeah, I mean, roller coaster doesn't do it justice. It really has lots of ups, lots of downs. I like this roller coaster on fire. I do like that. I do like that.
I can't take credit for that. Fire. That was Sam.
I might nick that. I might nick that. I might chuck a tweet or Insta out there and use that. But that's a great way to describe things this season. Overall, since the Nuno sacking, Conte's done a wonderful job. He really, really has. He's done a fantastic job.
Only behind Man City,
limited players. With limited players, yeah.
Only behind Man City and Liverpool in terms of points won in the Premier League, and that's a tremendous achievement in itself.
No, that's fantastic. But what I will say, as good as it is, and it is fantastic. I said top 5, top 6 would be decent. Conte first took over, I was like, I'd accept top 5, top 6 this season. I really would. With how bad Nuno was and the team itself, the summer itself, I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy with how the summer window went. So I would have probably taken top 5, 6. So to get into 4th is brilliant. But then you've got to look at the teams around us that are competing with us. And, well,
you can only beat who's in front of you, though.
Yeah, but it's going to change next season. So I'm rating this season. So I'm judging this season, and and the focus is next season now because the season's over. So in terms of the teams around Man United, I mean their 4-0 loss to Brighton pretty much sums their season up. Absolutely hopeless. Absolutely hopeless. They beat us twice. They still beat us twice. Arsenal were our biggest competitors, and they're not great, are they? I mean, they're not great themselves. Arteta in charge. So Man United are going to come back stronger. I'm not convinced by the Ten Hag appointment. No. So they're going to come back stronger.
They've got a lot of problems, Man United, than just getting a new manager.
Yeah, but they are the wealthiest club in the world with the biggest fan base. So it's a matter of time. And then you look at Newcastle too. So I think he's performed almost miracles, Conte, this season. But I tell you what, you said that other teams fear us. They should fear us. They should fear us over the last 5 or 6 years. When you've got Kane and Son, forget Kulu for a minute. When you've got Kane and Son smashing in the goals and assists that they have done in the last 2, 3, 4 years, you should be fearing us. The problem is our defence has been hemorrhaging goals over the seasons, and Conte targeting the defensive line in terms of improvements is what I expected. Because with this front three, this is a title-winning front three now. This is a title-chasing front three. If we can turn our defense into that sort of level, then why can't we make a title challenge? Why can't we make a title challenge next season? I don't disbelieve that. It took Pochettino 2 windows, and we only just lost out to Leicester, didn't we? We sort of messed that up going into the last few games. So it might seem a little bit too strong. But in terms of the front three, we've got good centre midfielders. We sort the wing backs and centre back position out. Who knows? And we know Conte knows how to win titles. 5 out of his last 7 seasons in charge as a club manager, he's won the title. The title in the league. 5 of his last 7. Well, I guess it's 8 now. 5 of his last 8. Full seasons in charge. So why not? This team's capable, but we've got to look at the fact other teams around us are going to come back stronger. It's going to be tougher. It's going to be tougher next season.
Yeah, it might be tougher, Tommy, but I think you'll find that next season Man United will be rebuilding. Chelsea might even lose the whole back 4, so they've got to rebuild. Newcastle be using a scattergun approach because we have the money, we can buy a player.
It's too early for them to be considered top 4. I think top 8, top 6 maybe, but top 4 I think is too early for them.
Yeah, so I think
after for me.
All 3 of those clubs have got stupendous amount of funds though.
They have, but next season it will take time. So we've got to take advantage of it of it now.
Man
All right,
United have had funds for years, and they
that's why it could happen.
Really.
And that's why it could happen. I wouldn't be
team.
surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if we get top 4 comfortably and fighting for the title.
That's
I
what we
wouldn't be
did
surprised.
That's what we did on Pochettino. It became a given that we'd be top 4, and that's what big clubs should be doing, going for titles. And if you don't win the title, we got top 4. We're in Champions League, and that's what happened under Pochettino.
Yeah. What do you think of the? What do you think of the season, Brian, as a whole, and next season? I mean, what I love about Arsenal fans is they're first to tell us Spursy, how you're Spursy, blah, 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 blah. 6 points clear, game in hand, mid-March. And now when they finish 5th, they're going, well, it's been an improvement. It's been a good season. Bollocks. You had 4th wrapped up and you lost to your biggest rivals. Lost to St. Tottenham's Day, which all the, all the streets were closed and all the decorations there, and you had to take them down last minute. Whereas if that had been us, it's been a good season, it's been an improvement, they'd be laughing us off Twitter. And just the attitude and the mentality that Conte has instilled there, where 5th was not good enough. 5th was not good enough. Next season, 4th isn't good enough. He wants to get higher. And do you think we can challenge for a title? And Conte will be saying to his players, possibly, and quite rightly, if this was a season where it's just you, Man City and Liverpool, you wouldn't be bottom, you'd be joint top in that league. So do you think we can compete, or do you think it's more cement 3rd, have a good cup run in the Champions League and win one of the domestic cups?
Exactly that. Listen, I think we will put a title chase up, but it will be like the Pochettino era, where we'll keep the distance for a certain amount of time, and then their quality and strength and depth will just shine through, and we won't be able to keep up the pace. Listen, I'm like Tommy. When Nuno came in, I was like, just get Europa League. Just get Europa League, and it's progress. Even when Conte came in, I thought it was the damage had been done, and there was too much ground to pick up. And let's face it, we got Champions League because other teams just didn't want it. Every time they could have really put a stranglehold on it, they screwed up as well. It was, but we got it. For me, the season, I give it an 8 out of 10. But the only reason I give it an 8, I would give it a 7, but I give it the extra point because obviously I got to go to a few games. I got to go to Leicester away and Man City away, 2 of the most iconic games I think I will ever go to in my life. I got to meet everyone, obviously.
Well, Leicester game, we actually won a trophy, didn't we? The comeback of the season. That'll be in the trophy cabinet somewhere when you walk into the stadium.
Remember now, we've done the double, mate. We won Grand Prix of the year as well. So it's been a very trophy-laden season for us.
Golden boot as well. I mean, we're going to need a bigger cabinet for this season alone.
Our next sponsors, it's going to be the WD-40 Stadium. That's what it's going to be called. But listen, it's no matter what way you look at it, we've made huge progress. By hook or by crook, we've got into the Champions League. By hook or by crook, we've ended up with Antonio Conte. By hook or crook, we've got Romero, Kulusevski, and Bentancur. And they've all got to be deemed as progress. What we've had to go through to get it is not even worth mentioning. But now, like I said, if someone said to me you can finish 2nd and nothing, or 3rd in a trophy, or 4th in a trophy, I'm taking 3rd or 4th with the trophy all day long. I thought when Conte came, this season we'll get Europa. Then I thought next season we'll qualify for Champions League, and then the season after that is when we'll proper go for the league. And I'm still kind of with that. We getting Champions League football is a priority, but Bob and I regularly talk about how important the FA Cup is to us. Never ever lost its magic. Never ever will do. It's been 30 years, or 31 years now without that cup. Let's hope it doesn't become 32 because that's our cup, and we need to start claiming it back.
We have to get over this not winning the finals. We have to get over that hurdle. And
if we get into one with Conte, we've got a natural born winner there who will be able to guide the players through that final. Ryan Mason, I still don't understand the whole sacking Jose 6 date and putting Ryan Mason in charge. Pochettino, young manager, and but Conte, I'd feel confident winning that cup, whatever one it may be, with Conte in charge. I'd have felt a lot more comfortable in that League Cup if Jose was in charge as well. Regardless of the football that we were playing in a one-off game, you never know. But yeah, I definitely think next year there's a cup with our name on it. Which one? not sure. And I definitely think third place, quite comfortably third place. But yeah, I agree with Brian. Not necessarily that there'll be a title challenge, but we won't be able to quite keep up with the top two.
We might
third place.
We might actually do what Chelsea did this season. They're up there and in with a chance, and then they tailed off. And I think that's probably right.
You don't know, because a team is only 2 injuries away. We saw what Liverpool were without Van Dijk. We saw what Liverpool were without Van Dijk. They were half the team. And Man City actually, on the Liverpool title win, they were short at centre back, and it capitulated. And that's why Liverpool won the title. So if both of them lose a player or two, a big player, you just don't know.
That's where this World Cup could be very interesting, because someone will get injured in there, or certainly at the end of the season there'll be tired legs and burnout and things like that. Hopefully, it's just not people like Kane.
No, we'll undoubtedly be top of the Premiership when we go into the World Cup. That'll be just typical.
Can I ask a question? Can I ask a question? I just, in terms of what we're going to do next season, where do you think we'd finish if we didn't have Kane next season?
What's supposed to be replaced him with?
Dane Scarlett. Like this season was Dane Scarlett. This season was Dane Scarlett. So imagine it's Dane Scarlett.
Look, we're also going to be worse off than we are with him, aren't we? I mean, it's.
I mean, the World Cup is before the transfer window, so if someone does get injured, you then do at least have a month to get someone. But if Kane got injured, every single striker's value is an extra 25 million on what they put anyway.
It doesn't matter. You got to remember, Chris, going into this World Cup, if a player we were targeting in the summer and we don't get over the line for whatever reason, whether it be he's injured or there was other players that were needed, if they have a good World Cup, their price soars anyway. So then their price soars because of a good World Cup. It can work the other way, and the price could go down if it's obviously a bad World Cup. But if a player we're after has a wicked World Cup and a player in that position gets injured, then their price becomes literally we know we're not going to pay it. We know we're not going to pay it.
Have to get a striker this summer. We have to
we
get
won't.
a striker this summer.
We won't.
We did it for the first time. It was last season. We did. We always have had a backup like Vinicius, Jans. This time we didn't even sign. Didn't even attempt.
Yeah, but we need to recognise. We need not just let's get a striker in for the sake of getting a striker in. It needs to be someone that can seriously push Kane, or if Kane is out, can come into his place, and it's not like, oh, here we go. Or not only that, if Kane's having an off day or gets a whack and needs to come off because there's a Champions League game and we need him fresh and fit, there needs to be a player that comes on that Spurs fans can say, do you know what? I understand why this got or that can say, do you know what? Goals will come from this guy. And I'm not saying break the bank, but it needs to be not a Vinicius, not a Llorente. It needs to be someone that can stay around for a while, or is coming up to his 30s, that's got a good few seasons and get the job done should they need. Not, we need a striker, let's just get the Wheel of Fortune out and see who it lands on, or get Danny Rose on Google and see who comes out. We need a recognised player.
Yeah, I mean, that remains to be seen. Obviously, like you said, Brian, before the 1st of July, I think you said, when pre-season starts, hopefully our squad has taken shape, because even more so than any other season, it's going to be more of a squad game next season with those 5 subs in the Premier League.
We're in a situation with Kane, aren't we? With Kane playing the World Cup. So it's like when he went 2 or 3 seasons without having a break. So it's going to
change the dynamics. The 5 subs will change the dynamics massively over the next 2 or 3 years. You can take your wingers off. You can tell your wingers for one half, just go at it. Go at it. Put the back 4 under pressure. Don't worry if you get tired. We'll bring 2 new wingers on in the second half. And look at the wingers Liverpool have, for example. Mane, Jota, Diaz, Salah. The big teams will take advantage of this. So it's going to be very, very different. Next season will be the start. I can see the next 2 or 3 seasons after that. It's going to make a big difference in the Premier League.
Yeah, we'll have to end it there, I'm afraid. I've got a work meeting to go to, and there's channels to promote on here as well. And Brad's also texted me to say he wants a sandwich. Only joking. I just
want to say, Bob, Bob, I just want to say, Bob, I'm very proud of you for, Not mentioning midget porn today. Every stream I've done with Brian Daly recently, you mentioned
there we
midget
go.
porn. So I'm proud that you haven't gone down to that.
Well, we're on here for a few more minutes, so I'm assuming that.
That doggy in the window.
Anyway, thanks so much.
I will always get this.
Thanks so much to Tommy, as always, and Brian and Brad. Appreciate you waking up early. Tommy, everyone will know because of what I do on Mondays, where your channel is, but Hotspur Hood, let people know what they can expect and where to find you.
You can expect obviously things are changing dramatically in terms of the content because the season's over. So the majority will be transfers. So yeah, pop over to the channel, give us a subscribe. As Chris said, he does a hosting. He hosts on my stream on a Monday. That's a brilliant stream.
There'll be some
Marlon doing.
quiz.
Yeah, we've got Marlon doing some instant reactions. Obviously, there are no games, but on a Wednesday, he's got something very interesting coming up. We've got a few people that the We Are Tottenham boys. I think Brian may have agreed to do it on one occasion. We've got something coming up on a Wednesday through Marlon on my channel, another host, where we're talking fellow streamers' best 11 and this, that, and the other. Spurs history. So make sure you stay tuned for that. We've got a lot planned. Put it that way. But make sure before you go over to Hotspur Hood, subscribe to Let's Talk Tottenham, to Chris's brilliant channel here. And thanks for having me as ever.
Oh no problem. Welcome all the time, anytime. And Brian, Tottenham on tour, strength to strength. I say that every week, but it is strength to strength every week. But yeah, where can people find you and what can people expect?
What can they expect? They can expect a lot. Daigle's Digest will be back daily when I'm back in London.
Oh, I did see your new channel as well, the straight out of Conte as well. It's very good. That was, I think, before the Norwich match. I think that was.
Yeah, we've done the after one as well, and that'll be a regular next season. So we've got that coming up. Obviously, if there's transfers coming up, we'll be discussing it. There's going to be more Ask Us Anything, where literally you can ask us. Literally, it doesn't even have to be about football. There's going to be more around the clock rule. There's going to be a few pop-ups. There's a lot, and I do mean a lot. And obviously, I'm back in London this time next week, so I'll be with Danny Kiriakou a lot more. So expect a lot of stuff coming from Tottenham on tour. A lot.
Excellent. Yeah, make sure you go over there. And Brad, music channel, is that up live?
Yeah,
or is that still a work in progress?
This time next week, I'll be in Australia. I've actually got like the layout. It's all ready to go. I just need to basically put some music on it, and it being a music channel. So. So hopefully when I'm in Australia, I'll get that sorted and get some stuff out there. You can find me at Brad Hotspur on Twitter, and I'm not sure, I'll have to check out the time differences, but I'll be around over the next few weeks if anyone's got sort of shows going out. And also I'll be back in London in time for the start of pre-season, and pre-season would have started in time for the start of the new season, and hopefully the Conte era. And also, don't forget, click, like, and subscribe to all these free wonderful channels. And that's free as in the number 3, not as in free as in we're free.
But it is free.
It is free, yeah. It is free, yeah. It's both.
Excellent.
And Bob, and Bob, if you're still watching, it's coffee, and it's very nice.
And thanks to Tommy, Brad, Brian. As I've mentioned, thanks to all you guys for watching. Please hit the like, please hit subscribe. If you're watching the replay, please hit the like and subscribe there. Certainly if you're new to the channel. And you can also listen to this on podcasts as well, wherever you get your podcasts. But it's an exciting time to be a Tottenham fan, I think, regardless of where that £150 million goes. But I think Conte will get money to spend. I hope he gets money to spend. Like we said, it's a big squad game next season with these 5 subs and a competition, European competition that we will be taking seriously. And hopefully we can just keep on moving up, because Conte won't be settling for 4th again. He wants more than that. And really exciting time. And all that's left to be said is, as always, there's one comment in here from Brian. Also made one for Alana and himself. You cheeky git, coffee that is. But let's hope next season is even better and we can win a cup, progress in the league, get higher in the league, and that'll be a tremendous season. But until then, come on, you Spurs. Thank you so much for watching, and to everybody who joined in the live chat. Before you go, please leave a like, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. It's all free and you'll be notified when we go live. Anyone who missed the live stream can still watch the replay on YouTube, and any comments, questions or suggestions on the comments there. For anyone listening to the audio only podcast, thank you so much for listening. Anyone who wants that podcast, you get that wherever you get your podcast from. Alternatively, go to our Twitter or Instagram page on the screen. We'll be back on Monday on the Hotspur Hood YouTube channel. Give them a subscribe. We're there at 7:30 PM UK time. And we're on this channel, Let's Talk Tottenham, 12:30 PM UK time again on Fridays.